Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
You know it's going to be a good one when everybody comes in laughing.
Merry Eve, everyone.
Do you guys ever see that viral video of the Miss Universe pageant and all the ladies say what country they're from?
Yes.
And the lady from France comes in and she goes, "Oh!"
Yes, I remember that.
That's where we're laughing about the
Is that all she said? Mm-hmm. Or did she follow it up with France?
No,
France. No, I think that was supposed to be the word.
She says
France.
it like France, but it sounds like a bird call.
I got you.
Wiener.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah. Please do.
So we're doing staff picks.
Staff picks, baby.
Hey.
Starting the month off right with the almost birthday boy.
That's right, Kelley.
Friday.
Kelley K. Well, you got a Friday birthday. Those are always good.
Yeah. I mean, when you're unemployed, it's less. But no, I do love the weekend to be unemployed.
Would you like me to vamp while you? There you go. Yes, Kelly's birthday is coming up, so that means he's first. If you didn't know, if you're new to this shit and you're like, wait, what? Staff picks is in January because all of our birthdays are contained within this month.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Isn't it weird?
So I'll be 47.
Wow.
Well, I'll be.
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 46 years old.
Yeah.
That's sweet of you.
Not a day.
So
and I'm like almost 365 days over 46, so that's pretty good.
I feel like we have earned every bit of our time on this earth and every little gray hair and scar we have.
And you will listen to me, young people.
And you will fucking give me that discount.
Stop calling things mid. I like meh.
Hey, no cap.
No cap.
I feel like I aged all
Staff
at once.
picks means we can just go buck wild and pick whatever. It does not have to fit the theme, and it does not have to be horror, sci-fi, whatever.
In fact, it's usually not.
This is where we go a little cray-cray.
Oh,
yeah.
Origins is out, where we talked about 13 Assassins.
So lock your doors.
Then The River.
Origins is at patreon.com/NOTLP. It's our bonus stuff where we go back in time.
Yeah, we get in that flux capacitor.
You didn't know, this show's been around for 17 years. So we go back in the time machine. We go back and we listen to what we said 12 years ago, because that's where we're at.
We put little fingers of our eyes and we go doolulu, doolulu, doolulu.
And we go, oh, I wouldn't say that now. I really wish I hadn't said that then.
Yeah.
It's a lot of I wouldn't say it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you support us, you get access to all those past failures.
Or Reckoning.
That was actually the original title of Origins. I wouldn't say that now.
I wouldn't say that.
But then it just doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Origins.
No, it really doesn't.
Just so you can see the growth, we've made it to I wouldn't say that now from I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
For saying those many things through the entire run of that episode, which used to be the norm for these Origins for a while.
So, please God, I hope Twitter doesn't find this.
So even back in time, over time, we're getting better.
We're growing as people.
Now it's I wouldn't say it now.
When Kelley said you can see the growth, I was like, on this webcam, it's a good one. You can see it. I didn't know it showed through this shirt, but I promise I'm gonna shave it off.
All right. So last week we talked about how we were going to do a Topicana, and that's also available at patreon.com/NOTLP. Doing like a year-end wrap-up, and that was supposed to come out last week, and then this show normally comes out on Monday nights, and it's Wednesday night, and you're like, what? People got sick. Holidays happened.
Yeah.
What are you
People
gonna do?
have been sick for weeks.
Freddy has been down for the count. Kelley, you were sick.
I was sick before that.
Knock on some wood right now.
Yeah.
I've been a lot better than Freddy. Freddy has really been taking the brunt of this plague.
Oh, it sucked, man. I was like wheezing and.
There was one morning I would check on him. I checked on him a few times, and he just kept saying to me, "Amy, I'm really sick." I know, honey. It's okay.
You know where like you're sick and you're like, we may need to go somewhere else. You need to take me somewhere else. It might be happening. Like maybe just the yard.
Look at the flowers.
Look at the flowers.
Aww.
You know. Lay me out under the stars.
You gotta have somebody put a blanket over you and you roll you out.
Mm-hmm.
Roll you out so you can get some of that good sunshine for your consumption.
Yeah, I think we do not get enough
consumption.
sunlight.
Well, it's winter time. FYI,
overcast.
Yeah,
we have barely
sucks.
seen the sun. Yes, we're talking about the weather.
We
on
get
this
just some sunny
podcast.
D.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, Sunny D.
what are you?
solar
Behind the
energy.
purple stuff.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
cold.
not. It's not. I'm
I'm
not.
not going out there. I got vitamin D in my
She got very
cabinet.
defensive about the not getting enough sun thing. I'm just parsing that.
She's trying to cover the fact that she's a vampire.
Are you? Are you a vampire?
Maybe a little.
If you're a vampire, you gotta tell me.
It's not like being a cop.
You're gonna get hit by a vampire.
You gotta tell me if you're a vampire. How much?
Because if you're a
Them's the
vampire,
rules.
you gotta
Them's the
say.
rules.
Now it's legal to be a werewolf. Get it? But it's illegal to be out during a full moon.
Well, that makes sense because werewolves they only come around like a couple times a month.
Right.
Vampires are vampires all the time.
You know what they
Yeah,
call
man.
a vampire over there? A royale with fangs.
Oh,
Oh, so good, honey.
That and scene.
Wow,
I love
that's
That's a werewolf bit.
that's the content you really want to
Bum.
good,
promote.
good Pulp Fiction werewolf mashup. I appreciated it. I was talk about growth. I was gonna add on to it, and then I didn't.
That's a big deal.
Just a little creme on top.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah, I just let it be.
Let
was-
it be.
It was perfect as it was.
It was an interesting little bit of imagination. Sure, should be.
Imagine what?
I was trying to.
Imagination.
There should be a word.
Are you still sick?
There should be a word for just a piece of spontaneous imaginary group art. It should be called imagination.
Sound like Cher.
Imagination. Or an imaginort.
Oh, imagination.
We made an imaginort.
Oh.
Okay.
Free form fantasy play.
This is the world's foremost Imaginort podcast.
Do you know how when you're real sick and then you have that first day of feeling kind of normal and you're like, I am Iron Man?
You get the zoomies.
Yeah.
Just trying to chase your tail. You're chasing your tail around.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Oh my gosh.
I feel so much better. It's insane.
It's good.
Yeah.
A little too good.
Yeah.
Little, if you
We gotta
ask
take
you.
it down a
down a
few
little bit.
pegs.
Yeah. All right.
Cough in his face.
Okay.
Calm down. I'll calm down.
Give me
I'm
those
just very
nuts.
excited to be
I wanna kick 'em.
alive.
Anyway, he was never going to die. That was never going to happen. Not on my watch.
I did die a little.
Okay. Welcome to 2024.
Yeah.
Glad to see 2023. Shit.
Yeah.
Me too.
Goodbye, 2023.
Yeah, I guess. I'm a little worried about what this is bringing, but yeah.
What new fresh hell we get in 2024 where you're like, well, look at that. Look at
We're
that
poised.
historical thing that happened that nobody ever thought would happen.
Are we still saying I didn't have that on my bingo card?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing, or do we leave that in 2023?
It's a spectrum of insanity.
It's I don't know what happened to that. I don't know what happened to our bingo cards.
Yeah, they got smeared and all the
I think
little
it's-
dots aren't
I think
usable
it's-
anymore.
I think it's still happening, but it's just people's like aunts and older
Oh, yeah.
like grandpas and stuff that are doing that.
They're still playing bingo?
Well, they're still doing the bingo card
The
of
joke.
doom.
event.
Yeah.
Because the oldies, we come to it later.
Yeah.
But I'm not looking to play bingo anymore. I'm just looking for a normal
Bingo
year.
is fun.
That was like that newscaster kind of bit they were doing, right? Where they're like, was this on your 2020 bingo card, Vern Troyer drowns in fountain.
Whoa.
You know, like there'd be stuff like that.
Alise said hi. Yes.
Hey.
I didn't have that in my big old car.
How about this? Martha Stewart and Snoop,
Do you think
bed down.
we'll ever have a stretch like we did in the 90s ever again?
Of
Just kind of like okayness.
You know, it wasn't okay for everybody in the 90s.
I know, but I'm just saying for me.
was that the last okay times?
Yes.
You don't think the Obama years were okay?
I enjoyed the Obama.
I wasn't stressed out like back
Well,
then.
there were 2 wars still happening. I don't know. I mean,
You weren't fighting in them.
you're right. I ain't fighting in any of them. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there was definitely a
messing with you.
2009 to like 2015, 14 that felt okay.
Yeah. Do you remember that
I don't
time
know.
when it was 2019 and there was those months that felt really good, but then there was that one month that felt real bad?
It's the thing where after Freddie's father passed away, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, next year I will get my shit together. Next year I'll figure it out and it won't be so shitty and I will get my life back together and here we go. And then your mom passed away and I'm like, okay, the next year is gonna be. And then something happened that year and then the pandemic hit and it's like, I'm
This
not
is
doing
what
it
being
anymore.
present is all about. You
I'm not
don't
doing
you
it
don't do
anymore.
it. You don't assign anything to the coming year.
Right.
You can as a fun imaginary thing, but you can't put any weight to it because
As an imaginort.
not good for you.
Yeah, that's like a bad imaginort. You don't want to.
Yeah.
That's an imagine fort.
Yeah.
It's an alien language, so you have to. The pitch and the slide and tone is really important. Otherwise, they're not going to understand when you finally make the construction of all these little imaginorts that fuel their ships.
You don't want to hit a wrong note and start an intergalactic incident.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine.
I mean, hell, 2024, I feel like could literally be the year they disclose alien, like we know aliens exist.
Didn't
Like,
Mexico already reveal
that
last
little
year?
crispy, crunchy alien.
No, I feel like there's nothing left. But hey, yeah, it's true. Aliens are real. Peace. And that's it. I don't know.
Do you guys ever just watch Cosmos? Zone out?
No.
I did the
should.
other night. You were asleep.
Where's our closest planetarium?
It might still be at the museum center.
Okay, I'll look into that.
That's something everyone should know.
Where's my closest planetarium?
It used to be the fucking Natural History Museum where WCPO is now, with the big mammoth statues, which I believe are still there. But I think now it's at the museum center.
Holy shit.
And in fact, it might be in the Omnimax. The Omnimax might be the new planetarium.
Ooh, okay. Doesn't that sound fun?
And by new, I mean like 30 years old.
And that's more the show and not so much the telescope, right?
The show. Yeah, a planetarium is a show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Planetarium.
we're talking about a television program.
No, he's thinking about a telescope, like an observatory.
Yeah, observatory versus
Planetarium.
planetarium.
Those are 2 different things.
Yes.
Yeah. A planetarium is it's a show, right? It's a projected show.
Yeah.
I was
Yes,
thinking
that's what you do by show.
that domed
Yeah,
screen,
you, like,
and
lay
you look
back.
up.
Yeah.
You go there to listen to Led Zeppelin
Yes.
and watch laser
Kings Island
shows.
used to have one.
Oh, that's a good shit.
I want a planetarium
Yeah.
trip.
Well, I think we have one.
Okay, well then I will book it
Have become
for us.
comfortably dumb.
We'll get so high and look at stars.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
space is my jam right now. I'm trying to get my little great niece into it.
Yeah.
Bought her a bunch of books about space.
Very cute.
So we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make that kid the fucking coolest Trekkie that ever existed.
Yeah.
Oh, don't quit trying to force things on.
You won't have to force it.
We'll
It's
see what
beautiful.
sticks.
It's beautiful, and it'll teach her all the good things in life.
Worf's in DS9 now, where I am in my time. And boy, he has a lot of trouble with the Klingon Empire, does Worf, son of Moog.
Yeah.
They're not.
He's a
Not nice.
maverick.
They're not nice.
And he's troubled.
Yeah.
Is
He's a
Martok
troubled soul.
shown up? Martok. Fucking love General Martok. I'm sorry, Andy.
I'm still resistant.
Okay.
Well, resistance is beautiful.
Is that Borg? That's
Yes.
Borg, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know a little bit.
Oh, it's wonderful.
The
Are you
Borg
guys
are
going to assimilate me
scary.
eventually?
Maybe.
yourself over
We'll
to
take everything from you that we want and get rid of the rest.
Trekkies.
And
Yeah,
that,
you got to get weird with it, Andy. Star Trek.
you guys, is how I met your mother.
What a timely reference.
I don't know why I said that.
Well, you're going back to the halcyon days of like the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Well,
That's your last like stable era.
I'm telling you, like, that's why all I want to watch is like Newhart or Will and Grace or
So
shit
soothing.
from the back in the Times.
I've been
Or
drawing
Office Space, which we will talk about later, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
very comfortable.
the Stratford Inn. I've been drawing it as we've been watching Bob Newhart.
The Stratford Inn, Vermont.
Yeah. Isn't it just like, what a warm fucking blanket of a show?
And can I tell you, I remember that. I haven't watched Newhart. That's how memorable it is.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it since it was literally on.
Yeah.
But I remember all kinds of stuff about it.
Yeah. It's phenomenal.
We were watching it the other night, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if you Googled Bob Newhart nude.
That was a weird
Nude heart.
nude.
Did you do it?
I did.
What? You didn't get anything. Not even
No.
a fake.
Well, put
No.
it
We should make one.
Put
There
it
should
to
be at
AI.
least one fake.
I should put that into an AI. That's what they need.
Yeah, Bob Newhart. That's Andy's joke. It was like a concussion from your joke. It hit me again.
What if he's like oddly jacked, like Danny Elfman?
What if we made T-shirts
yeah.
that were Bob Newhart?
I think we'd get a cease and desist.
How quickly would they come down on us?
Or his estate
I don't know
is
that they
gonna
would. That's parody, baby.
Yeah,
Baby.
Yeah, and the he's public domain too.
yeah. As long as it's tasteful. I'm not talking like a spread eagle Bob Newhart. Though you'll see, like, if you're a fan of current comedy, like what's considered the best current comedy over the past 10, 15 years, it all comes out of like this stuff, this Newhart and
Yeah, kids.
But-
I've never seen Nude Heart. Is that the news show?
the Newhart is where they run the inn in Vermont.
Oh, I'm thinking maybe I thought news because
News radio.
news
What?
heart.
You're crazy.
I just heard the word new.
Where there were two. There was the Bob Newhart show where he was a
This is the
psychiatrist.
timely content.
Yeah.
And then later
That you
came
come here for.
Newhart. Newhart's my favorite, but the other one's really good too.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's
They're-
our review.
They're funny. They are funny, George. George is so great.
All right.
Anyways, we should move on.
On that
'Cause
note,
we do horror stuff, right?
Well, not so much
Not
this
today.
week.
Yeah. But
All right.
we do a little dose of horror.
We'll be right back.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
little dose of horror.
Welcome to my review of a little movie called The Lake. It's from Thailand.
What a funny little accident.
Oh my gosh. Just disturbed my train of thought. Okay, I have notes here. So we're going to use those to construct a review since I watched this like 3 days ago now. And that's far too long ago for me to remember things.
Agreed.
It was on Tubi, I believe, or Prime. I can't remember. Google it. I don't know. It was dubbed, which was good.
Oh, yeah.
Because I needed to be able to like do other things and look down and not miss huge chunks of the movie. Sorry, that just was my preference in that moment.
I understand.
But the voice acting was very anime, and this movie, at first, it didn't make sense. It made the movie very silly than it looked and felt in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know. It bothered me a little.
I understand.
I think some of the translation wasn't great either. There's like this opening.
What was the original language?
It's from Thailand, so it'd be Thai.
Okay.
I don't know what language that would be. I don't know. Opening monologue translation was rough. I wrote here. It was like vague and nonsensical. I think they were trying to say there's a monster here, and aren't monsters scary, but are the true monsters us? I don't know. It was shit like that. I'm not really paraphrasing, but I am.
They just run it through that Google Translate.
It felt like that
real time thing.
Yeah, that was
it felt like that.
a joke when we tried to use that.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped a little.
I mean, it did help make a sketch. If you're ever in a real pinch, I think you could use Google Translate and maybe not get murdered. Maybe.
So there's just like a small town. These dudes are out carousing one night
At the Tasty Freeze.
and they say something down by the lake, and a monster comes out of the lake. Then they find it's cool. It's CG, but I really liked the design, and I thought that was really well done.
Cary Grant played the monster?
Freddy Morris.
This is out of character for him.
Was it good CGI?
Yeah, I'm trying to find my little note about it, but monster CG is good. Neat design. It doesn't look great when the sun shines on it in the daytime, but what are you gonna do? So anyway, a monster comes out of the lake. It's this big ass monster, and oh my gosh, and everybody's like, what? And then cut to this woman's waking up, her and her kid, and where's dad at? And then they try to find him and try to find all of his drinking buddies from the night before and try to figure out what's going on. And the egg is in play.
The egg.
Then there's even, they found an egg on the beach.
Okay.
Return the egg unbroken.
And there are other littler monsters out there.
Oh, shit.
I love little monsters. Not the movie, but when
when they're small.
Yeah.
The concept, yes. This sounds fun. I might.
I mean, it was fun at first, and I was having fun, but I just think it didn't really rise enough above what I needed it to do. But
You wanted to make you feel good.
Yeah, I want to feel good. It was very sci-fi movie, but like they fooled me at first, and I thought like this was going to be serious and like a movie that is sincere, and then after a while I was like, oh wait, I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be really silly. So maybe the voice acting wasn't a mistake, like they did that on purpose. I'm not really sure. There's a fish monster. We're talking about this monster that rose out of the lake.
Yeah.
But like the people investigating the bodies found, are homicide detectives, but they know damn well there's a monster out there.
Yeah.
So like, can we get some other people involved?
What they're like, we need monster police. Get them on the phone. 1-900-MONSTER POLICE. $4.95 a minute.
So. I mean,
Ask Mom or
later
Dad.
on, the military does get involved, but like at first, it's just homicide, and then homicide gets to stay on it with the military.
So,
why does little shit like that bother me? It's because somewhere the movie lost me, and then my brain picked that up, or I'm just fucking weird.
there's
like
some things that in the subconscious that happens when you're watching a movie or listening to a song or whatever, where when they lose you for a second. Like, it doesn't matter what they did to keep your attention and to keep you invested. It doesn't matter if it's like factually correct and we're working with continuity. But if there was a moment where they just dropped the ball, like I feel like I learned that watching that RoboCop documentary.
They let me get bored.
They were like, there's those milliseconds of like moments where they're like, you leave it too long and it ruins the scene, They couldn't nail their tone.
So like the two homicide detectives are along for the ride with this military troop, and they're gonna figure out how to kill this giant fish monster. But meanwhile, one of the detective's daughters is in trouble at school, so he has to go to school real quick and get her.
Like she's in like minor little cute trouble.
Yeah, like just teen shit, right?
Yeah. She's on Jingle Jangle.
But I'm like, there's a monster terrorizing this town, but the children should be dismissed and put in a bunker. I don't know, man.
It doesn't sound like they were taking this threat very seriously.
No, it doesn't.
They're like, look, there are little monsters on the beach, man. Real little monsters.
They're
The guy
not
sound like
little.
me who reported it.
I just mean like the big one was like Godzilla big, and then the littler ones were like a couple of rocks tall. The rocks,
A couple of rocks.
they're smaller.
Like
3
the
apples.
actor? The actor?
Yeah.
Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Maybe a rock and a half.
If you stack 2 rocks and a half of a rock,
Right.
it's a rock.
But
I
not
thought
rock
she
from the
meant
TV
literal
show
rocks.
2 rock.
But I was thinking rocks come in different sizes.
Yeah.
They do. All shapes and sizes. So he's got his daughter now because she's been kicked out of school. And he's like, well, honey, your mom's dead, so you're just going to have to come to work with me.
Wait, is this where you find out the mom's dead?
I think you find out before then.
They're like, what other cliches can we throw in here?
No, she'd been dead for a while.
From the
But-
smell, you could tell.
He's like, so you got to come with me to work as your punishment. His work being a monster hunt that he's bringing his child to.
Yeah, I don't want to victim blame, but come on.
What is going on? And guess who dies? The kid. I'm spoiling because I did not like this
that's
movie.
kind of interesting that they killed the child. How old is this child?
She was a teen. So 15 to
killed her.
17-ish.
That's cold-hearted.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, why'd you bring her here? But she knows she's with him on a monster hunt.
Yeah.
They're hunting for the monster, but she's acting so bored and put out.
He has a bumper sticker that says, we're on a monster hunt, so stop being a monster. And then it's just a bunch of squigglies.
How big is this lake? If it's a Godzilla size, how hard do they have to look for
I
it?
guess maybe it wasn't Godzilla sized. Maybe it was half a Godzilla.
Amy
That's
likes
still
to
pretty
measure
big.
things in rocks. How many rocks is your
Many
Godzilla?
rocks.
It was 27 Dwayne The Rock Johnson's tall.
I could describe him to a T in Dwayne The Rock Johnson's. If you could please get me a police sketch artist who's very familiar with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, his height, anyway.
If you start with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and you just chisel away here and there, you eventually end up with Rick Moranis.
This is why your economy is crashing, Amy, because you refuse to convert.
She's still on the rock standard.
Come on, guys. No, I'm not good at estimating things. I think is what we're learning right
Just
now.
use the rock everywhere.
How you gonna make change for a rock?
I'm gonna tell the doctor my height in rocks. The rocks
Percentage of rock.
when I go.
You're like, I'm 2/5 of a rock.
And they're gonna go,
Yeah.
So there's a standard weight for a rock.
Because you also have to have a fraction. Well,
And a
that's the
height,
height.
too.
I don't
I know,
what
but
the weight
still.
is.
He never varies. No part of his body ever changes. That's why we use him.
right, exactly.
He's consistent.
So then there's a guy who's the brother
Yeah.
of the woman that was married to the man that was
That was the brother
murdered
of
by
the woman
monster.
who was married to the man of the husband of the cousin.
When I said at the beginning, the mom and the daughter wake up and they're like, "Where's dad at?" So the wife, her brother, gets bit by one of the monsters and then psychically linked to it now.
See, this is kind of fun.
I guess.
But it sounds like it'd be a lot more fun if it were rubber suit monsters.
It's sort of Cloverfield-y.
Yeah.
I think
Those
they
little
were
monsters did something to you.
trying to do too much, but still just running around. I don't know. But then it's like you can't kill the monster because it's gonna kill the brother. They're linked.
Oh, because they're linked.
And then I think they use humans to incubate something. No, I might be remembering something else I watched. Doesn't matter.
You're actually waking from an incubation chamber right
I'm
now.
actually
You're
coming
in
out
that
of
reality
stasis.
is why you're thinking that.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Jurassic Park homage shots, Jaws shit, throwing a propane tank or an oxygen tank in a monster's
Did
face.
the dad character do the Jeff Goldblum sexy on the back of the golf cart thing?
No, I don't remember that.
It was the monster that did it, actually.
The monster did it? One of the smaller monsters did it. It was adorable.
But then, the movie ends with the government covering it up. Nothing happened. What are you talking about? It was just an unfortunate blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And
I
then,
like the idea of the spinning newspaper and it says unfortunate blah, blah, blah.
unfortunate blah, blah, blah. But then, they set it up, do you guys want this to become a franchise? Because, the main detective who lost his wife years ago and now his daughter, he's become like a Jeff Goldblum, Indiana Jones type, like Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like he's that guy now.
Oh, he's that guy.
He's testifying before Congress.
No,
He's like, no, is he? You do that?
didn't live up to its potential. Had me confused in spots. I thought the voice acting was not great. Listen, you know, do your thing. If you were like, I must see every movie with a monster that comes out of a lake, well, have I got the movie for you?
You know how my friend John loves those monsters that come out of lake movies? Well, boy, howdy.
I mean, I don't mean to be mean. All of these people were lovely and did a great job at what they were told to do. Just somehow it didn't.
I also feel it gets points knocked off already because of the title.
The lake. I don't know what what it was named in the original. Or was it always called the lake?
The original was
They speak
the
English
wet.
there. I should have looked all of these things up. So anyway, yeah, thanks for your time. I do not recommend.
Thank you.
All right, gang.
That was
Thank
a fun
you for
little
doing
journey.
that.
Did you have fun?
I
Yeah.
had fun just listening to you talk about what it was. It was like, I feel like you were about to tuck me in. It was like a bedtime story. I loved it.
And then
Until you killed the little girl.
they were all dead. All right, next movie for the next one of these is called Birth, Rebirth.
Oh, I've heard this is good.
Oh yeah, I heard this is good too.
Birth, Rebirth.
Burf, burf, burf.
A single mother and a childless morgue technician are bound together by their relationship to a little girl they have reanimated from the dead.
Who's in this?
Marin, Ireland. Judy Reyes. Oh, isn't that
Judy Reyes. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Carla.
Oh, from Twisted Metal?
No,
From
from
Scrubs.
Scrubs.
Scrubs. Oh, okay. Never mind. I know who you're talking about now.
All righty.
All right, cool. Let's see who's going to watch it. You want to hit it, Amy?
I'm going to hit it. We're spinning the wheel, spin, spin.
I don't
spinning
hear the wheel, but
That's okay. Who
it's
needs to
spinning.
hear the wheel?
It's spinning. Oh, look at that. It looks like it's going to be Andy.
Rebirth.
Congratulations.
Birth.
Rebirth. Is it like birth/rebirth?
Yeah.
Burf.
Don't you love that?
Welcome to Birth.
I bet it's a little bit about.
Zawo, Kelley.
I bet the movie's a little bit about dealing with the trauma and grief of something.
I hope it's
They
wacky.
always are.
Like they had to control this reanimated dead girl.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I think it's a Frankenstein play.
Yeah.
Off.
Oh, yeah. It could be fun. It could also be very tragic, but it's probably going to be a good time. Carla's from Scrubs, so she's funny. You already know she's funny.
Hey, he's got to do it anyway, Friday.
All right, cool.
You don't have to convince him.
You ready to move on to Office Space?
Oh, so ready.
Office Space.
We'll be right back.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
Oh, Kelley, thank you for the treat.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh, yes.
1999's Mike Judge Office Space. Oh, you guys.
Freaking masterpiece.
This movie legit was, and I obviously said this in my little blurb, but I really thought about it like a religious experience. At the time that I saw this, which was 3 or 4 years after it came out, I had been working in the circulation office and customer service at the Cincinnati Enquirer.
They're going to say corporate accounts.
Which was, we had a person that did that. It was just a hole, just a hell hole.
Yeah.
And when I watched this, I wasn't that super interested because when it came out, I don't think it was promoted very well. And I hadn't really even I'd been working in offices for a long time, but it hadn't gotten quite to the just horrendous level that I experienced at the Enquirer. In fact, I hadn't really worked in too many offices. I worked at one and then some call centers, but there's so many lines when I watched it finally where I was like, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
The line specific when they got to where, and we'll talk about this, but where Peter goes to the hypnotherapist And he says, every day that you see me is worse than the day before.
Mm-hmm.
So every day that you see me is the worst day of my life. I said that like all the time. It was a very stressful job. And when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, this movie is more. And in fact, I don't know if Freddy remembers this, but we put that clip of dialogue into a song that I had written way back, even slightly before Pike was reformed.
Yeah.
But it was about my job. I had written a song about my job and how horrible it was. It's a good song too, by the way. I wish I could find the recording somewhere, but so I thought there's sort of a little bridge, and it seemed like a perfect thing to kind of put in there, is that little bit of dialogue, but so many other things. The whole, his whole description of what his day is like when he gets there. I come in about 15 minutes late, and then I sit and I space out for about 40 minutes or for an hour or so.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So yeah, Office Space is a pretty special movie to me. It just really was very cathartic, and of course it's just funny as well.
Good soundtrack.
Mike Judge,
Great soundtrack.
friggin' awesome. I love everything he's done.
Yeah,
Do
agreed.
you celebrate his?
I celebrate his entire collection.
You,
Entire
oh
catalog.
gosh, you celebrate his entire catalog.
There's so many fucking quotes. I mean, if you're our age, like, this movie is extremely special
that's
to you.
like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the fifth dentist, and like say,
Oh yeah.
it was fine for me. Maybe it's because I just found it so depressing that
Yeah.
I couldn't really enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed the bits of it, like the quotes and stuff. To me, I felt the direction was kind of bland too.
Really, I thought this was high style.
But just the story itself, it kind of rose to a level but didn't rise up. It was kind of like a flat line to me. It was just kind of just there.
Couldn't disagree more. That was the point. I think that's what it was supposed to be.
I think it's perception, because I think it played with us because we had already worked in offices. I think this movie is for people that really hated working in an office.
Well, I do think that.
Or at a restaurant or whatever. Like, I think
I've had those jobs before, but I didn't like those jobs either, but I never really felt the way this guy did.
Right, because
I did.
you have a very different kind of like sense of, like, I think you have a different sense of, I don't know how to even express this the right way. When we talk about, you have a great sense of social responsibility, I think. And I think like this movie probably is not compatible with what you think between right and wrong,
it's
right?
like, it's the same way. Like, I look back on The Office now, and I don't like it as much because I find the characters kind of not despicable but unlikable, and I felt this guy was pretty unlikable just because he was just such a miserable human being.
Oh man,
Until he wasn't.
He did have like the realization at the end that the job doesn't define you, and you gotta.
His relationship wasn't good.
Yeah.
He fixed a lot of things.
I
he had a redemptive arc.
I think that I'm always like trying to parse out Andy's response to some of these movies that I think he'll really like. But I think like part of it too, and I think the flip side, and I get in this mode too, where you're thinking of the real world consequences as if this was a real thing happening, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's not victimless, although it does flip for both what's his name, Peter, and who's the little guy with the red stapler, Milton. Thank you. Milton. Those two have these great happy endings, but then you're kind of like, somebody's getting fucked.
That's what I put myself in the other people's shoes. Like, yes, like I was doing the bare minimum to get by too, but somebody else is always doing less than me.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing the bare minimum to a certain extent, and it's the people that you have to pick up the slack for.
Someone's getting shafted.
Yeah.
But they'll also like that's an interesting barrier though that like some of us will put up. I'll put up the barrier where I'm like, you're only going to get so much out of me because that's what I've determined what you're paying me is worth. and your barrier is in a different place where you kind of stop feeling like responsible for that stuff only once other people are taken care of.
Yeah.
Which is really nice, but like it also is an endless well because that's people will suck you dry when you do that.
Well, I'm very mercenary when it comes to work, and I don't give a fuck about anybody at my work. Now, I do try to do, if I like you, I try not to let my problems spill into other people's shit. But I don't care, and if I did, I would feel justified doing it.
Certainly you know what? I'm just going to say it. Like, I feel differently now about like large corporations. Fuck them.
Yeah.
But I think the view of how management doesn't do fucking anything other than get in the way in this movie I love so much. Anyway, go on.
And the circular logic, which I'll get to that in a second too. But like that was another one that like quote that hit me was when he asked him, if you had $1 million, what would you do? And he said, I would do nothing. And that is his whole, like, in that moment, him sleeping all day, that's all I wanted to do at that time. I was like 23 years old. I was getting ready to have my first kid, and I was just, all I wanted to do was sleep. And so it appealed. I felt so, it just related to me. And when he finally comes back and just doesn't give a fuck, I was like, yeah.
You know what I love too, though, is there's like a real, on the flip side of that message, he really didn't just want to sleep all day. He wanted to have a fulfilling life. And he didn't have that. Like, as long as he was making himself work at Initech, he was going to be miserable forever, and something had to give.
Right. And I do think the message ultimately is just leave, get a different job.
Right. Get out before you hurt somebody.
You don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
Until the place explodes.
Well, I think that's another reason why I'd relate to him, because I didn't know him besides him being miserable at work. I didn't know anything else besides what the job was taken away from him and from enjoying from life.
Do you think like they wanted him to be so generic that anybody could relate to him?
Yeah, I guess so. But like, but I didn't see what exactly that he was missing out on, that work was taken away from him.
I think the thing that really stood out to me the most this time watching it, it's like I almost couldn't care about Peter other than that Ron Livingston was a total snack back then. Oh my gosh.
I think him and Kyle Chandler should make a movie together.
I'd watch that
Where
tape.
they're brothers or something.
That sex tape would be hot.
Yeah, that's incest.
He was in The Conjuring.
They're not really related.
Which one?
I know, but they look a lot alike.
He wasn't he?
But this time around, I was struck by, was his hypnotism real? Or did he just kind of have an epiphany? Like, I was trying to figure out who did it just wear off, or did he just decide to say fuck it?
It doesn't matter.
And that eventually wears off.
Yeah, I'm not
what
sure.
Was the movie trying to say?
I'm not sure that it went that deep. I'm not sure that Mike Judge intended there to be a sort of a subtle secondary idea about reality. I mean, you can certainly, if you want to expand and expound, you can go into all kinds of directions. I do not need to expound.
Although there is the arguments to be made, because the guy died doing it, that's the reason Mike Judge put that scene in there, was to, you know what I mean? Like,
to scare him with the death.
It could mean multiple things.
Guy died at work, man.
Right. He watched a guy literally die at work.
You ever think about that woman that died at her desk on a Friday and nobody noticed till the Monday?
All the time.
I don't ever think about it.
Oh, is that a real story?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know a woman who that will probably be if she doesn't slow down.
Me?
Not you.
Oh.
I
always make that joke. That
I'll find your body right away.
Yeah, because you work from home.
The minute you start whistling out farts, I'll know.
That'd be real sad if he doesn't refund you till Monday.
Yeah.
You're right.
Even though
Baldur's Gate, man.
It's like, damn, Amy's been quiet.
Good.
Well, and I love like the idea of not just that he has 8 bosses and everybody comes and hassles him about the TPS reports. And this was, again, something that clicked with me because I felt the same thing always. And I actually lost my mind at one of my last jobs because of an almost exact same policy and problem. And I wouldn't let it go. Everyone thought I was insane, but they liked me, so they didn't hassle me. But like, where the thing that's so frustrating isn't even that you have 8 bosses hassling you, as he says in the movie. It's I've explained to you the situation. I've apologized. I've accepted accountability, and the just blank stare. Yeah. It's because they're on autopilot and they don't hear you, and it doesn't matter, and it's just blank policy.
Yeah.
Again, especially at the time in my hot-blooded 20s. Oh my God, I was losing my mind on bosses all the time. But at this job, real quick, I'll just say we had these orders. When you had a rush order, you would put this orange rush sheet on top of it. We printed them in orange. It's just a sheet that says rush order, and you fill it out, and you stapled it to the order and sent it down to the warehouse, so they knew to get it out immediately. Right. One day, our HR person, actually it was for like a week, but she forgot to reorder orange paper. We had all these other colors of paper, and it was my job to get these orders done, and you had to get them done fast. So I took red paper, which was the next closest color.
Yes.
And it's a different color, so they'll know it's a rush order.
Right.
And I fucking started using them. I copied a bunch of red paper, and I started using them. And I knew it. I fucking knew it. But I was like, no, surely not. That's not going to happen. Multiple people started coming up. Hey, Kelley, can you tell me why you put the red paper? Yeah, we don't have any orange paper. Yeah, but the rush orders, they know them because they're the orange paper. I was like, well, this says rush order on it, and it's red, and it's the next color. I was like, what would you have me do? And they're like, I'm not sure. And then they wanted to talk about what to do until we got the orange paper. And I was like, I told everyone there, my boss, the CEO, everyone, I was like, this is stupid what we're talking about. I hope you all understand that. This is stupid. And they were like, it's just, it just makes it easy. And they laugh a little bit. They're like, oh, that guy. Always thinking all of us are stupid.
It is so dumb. It is so, what a waste of time. And I think that's
I've had so many instances
with Office
of that in
Space.
my life.
I think that's why he is so into having that hands-on job at the end, which is the cliche. Guys always want us, they're like, good, honest work with these 2 hands. It sounds like bullshit, but the truth of the matter is you eliminate the middleman. That's the only reason that seems so magical.
Right. Well, also,
you're not fucking with a bunch of these people.
Well, there's that. And I don't know if that's, I didn't see it as that cliche, because I do know that, and I've had this conversation with a lot of people who've had stressful office jobs. They're like, I wish I could just go be a cashier at Wendy's.
Yeah.
I've said it's simple, and you
leave it when you leave.
It's not like there's policies, but it's not this weird bureaucratic red tape.
Right.
So the idea of going to work in construction, which is simple, and you're outside and it's nice, and it's like, oh, this is way fucking better. Maybe I was meant for this instead.
It just should encourage you to try stuff.
I want everybody to understand is just because there are less things to track. It's just simpler life.
Yeah.
That I need some days where I'm like that. When I come back from a vacation of a couple of days and I've got 200 fucking emails, and it's like, why the fuck do I have goddamn 200 motherfucking emails?
Right.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But anyway,
so anyway, I mean, this movie, and also I just find it hilarious. I love the juxtaposition, especially in '99, of the the hip hop music with these nerdy dudes, and the sort of the stylistic choices with sort of some of the groovy cinematography and the little crime element. I love them destroying the printer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was fucking A+ for me.
Great.
I always want to cheer. I know some people would say that that's a loss of property, and that business, someone has to pay for that. I genuinely don't care. I would like everyone I want everyone to line up.
Yeah.
So I can tell each person in line that I don't care.
Because first of all, you don't need to print as much as you think you do.
Right.
Okay? Stop it.
Yeah. Even then, even in '99. but still, there's a lot of things that like represent the whole fucking problem, and fax machines and computers, and there's something feels so good about somebody breaking those, or a time clock.
Oh my God.
I mean, like even shit, there's so many things. Like it feels. It's just that comes back to.
I threw my mouse that one day, my wireless mouse. I walked out the backyard and I fucking threw it.
I wanted more of these scenes because it was kind of repetitive, just showing the constant little bureaucracy you had to deal with at work, and just the fact that it took place most of the time in an office. It was
real though.
Yeah,
very interesting to me. I know, and I understand that, but I needed more beyond excitement beyond like, hey, look at these funny things at work.
Yeah,
young hot Jennifer Aniston.
I think
and also like I was like kind of confused about how quickly he turned on his girlfriend just because
she's a bitch.
Yeah, just that. No, I'm talking about Jennifer Aniston. Just like that was a kind of like a red flag to me. I know that he kind of like took. That's when
Lumbergh really traumatized him.
Yeah,
but it was kind of like.
If he were an Office character, don't you feel he would be Ryan the Temp?
Yeah, I mean,
like it's that kind of character where you're like, you're not
Ryan
sure
the Temp is
the
guy.
guy.
The guy.
That's
Ryan the Temp.
That was later Ryan the Temp when they changed
but
his
I get
character.
it that like that it shows that how work is infecting him and making him jump to conclusions. But the conclusions, Matt. That was funny when he showed the prototype.
And he'd be standing on the mat.
I love his story.
He was so happy to have been injured.
He had to literally get he had to fuck up
Good
killing
things
himself.
can happen. Look at me.
Yeah, and he's talking about surviving suicide, and like because he got hit, he has, and it shows you like how desperate the working people are.
We are still that. We are probably more that now. I see so many like funny haha jokes about Jesus Christ, this is all there is.
Yeah.
About people who are getting into mid-late 20s going, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then we're like, it is.
Yeah. Been doing it.
I hope you have plenty of gasoline and a strong V8 engine.
Thank God for the pandemic giving me the opportunity to just work from home. And I would, the fucking commutes.
Yeah.
The fucking.
I thought you were going to start singing that 12 Pains of Christmas.
See, like, I know it's like presented in I know it's presented in a funny way, but it's like you said, like that his desperation to get out of that situation, it took him almost dying to finally be happy.
Right. And also to have the means
to do it.
I know it's a comedy, but it felt like a very heavy movie to me.
His other movie, Idiocracy, you don't think that shit's heavy too?
But it's the way presented. It's the way it's presented.
It's goofier.
Yes, exactly what I was trying to say.
It's like the Doritos taco shells they had at Taco Bell, but in the middle is shit.
You got the poop in there.
So I like the little bits, like the funny parts, but it just felt so overwhelming to me.
Yeah, it's grim.
Yes,
the movie's grim. I get that. Like, and that might rub some people the wrong way. That makes sense. For me, it was just so spot on that it's like one of those things. Like, I felt the same way when Clerks first came out, where I was like, "This is how it feels to work in the video store." Exactly. This is exactly the experience that we're having right now. Somebody could filmed it. Down to our friend who looked like Silent Bob that would come in all the time, Rich. If you're listening, hi, Rich.
Hey, bud.
I did love seeing all these familiar faces. That's like, I like big casts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had a great cast in this movie. Down to the, like you were saying, the O-Face guy. Even him, so good.
Yeah.
Fucking O-Face guy.
And it was also interesting to look back at how bland this era was.
Wow.
Yeah.
In terms of style and just the technology.
Mike Judge cameo is really fun as the...
Oh, yeah.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Tchotchkes.
Tchotchkes as the manager.
What do you
See,
think
people
of
won't get
someone
that, like-
only does the bare minimum?
Because Fridays is a totally different animal now.
Man,
Yeah.
And it's not recognizable from like the Fridays of
I haven't been.
the heyday, I guess. Because we used to go
nice.
there a lot.
Oh my God, we used to day drink
Yeah.
so much at TGI Fridays before we were legally allowed to. In some cases,
Really?
because we knew waiters. Yeah.
Oh, did I do that? Yeah. Did I do that? I don't remember it at all. I remember drinking at Snows Lake.
Yeah. Well.
where you buy your bait when you want bait and booze and you're 17.
Thank you so much, Kelley, for this movie.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for watching
It's
it.
been a long time.
I'm always down to jam Office Space. It's been a few years.
That was awesome.
So yeah.
Sorry, Andy.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Calm down. God forbid somebody doesn't like a movie as much as you guys do.
No, I was being silly.
If Andy
and
said
it's
he
okay
liked
to
it-
disagree.
You're like the Bobs. You guys you're gonna grill Andy on this.
Having a monotonous
What do you
opinion.
say?
So
you
Amy's
do
like,
here?
I'm gonna have to talk to you about this movie, Andy.
No,
Can you have
it's
a
gonna
seat?
be like Andy. You're gonna go back out into the cubicles out there at NOTLP headquarters, and you're gonna be like, I told those assholes I liked Office Space.
You're gonna keep moving my chair back to further and further away.
You're gonna end up on the floor like at Trader Sam's.
What's happening?
Office Space, delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah,
It was tasty.
Andy
Tasty
gives it a
treat.
tasty.
At least
Oh,
At least tasty.
Martinson
yes.
looked cute.
It's not for everyone, man. I do think there's like, it's you know.
Do you think the
there's people I
people
know
who are-
who wouldn't like those?
Who saw this in the 90s were like, oh my God, that's crazy. And are now fucking Lumberg.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They get worn down. I know one who I would say is probably Lundberg.
That's so sad.
well, I appreciate kind of ahead of this time. This movie was
Yeah.
like I
It
don't
was.
think because people don't didn't skew like the offices as much as like workplace in general as hard as this. I think.
Oh yeah, I don't remember anything like this.
It nailed cubicle world. Like, I don't think too many movies and shows before that presented off the sort of gray cubicle fluorescent light in a realistic way the way this did. And I think that's why it maybe didn't hit when it first came out. And it really kind of built a cult following after it hit like DVD and VHS, because I think office culture became more and more, people our age were now working in offices, and they were like, oh shit, this is real.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I also think people are realizing that corporations do not give a fuck about you, and your job doesn't give a fuck
I can't
about
believe
you.
it took everybody so long.
That's
Gen
what I
X already
appreciate.
knew it.
Yeah, that's what I appreciate about these like the newer generations that
No,
they're not
fucking with
loyal to
Yeah.
their jobs. I mean, like
I am,
yeah.
stupidly.
It's different.
Well,
with
you're a
small
different generation.
I'm not stupid. I'm happy,
No,
but like
You know
I am a
the
different
owner of
generation.
your
Yeah.
company. You know who you're
Yeah.
working for.
Yeah.
Like,
But I've worked for
And also,
fucking
it's
different.
Lumbergs.
it's also generational too. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like we were brought up to believe that you go in and do the best you can no matter
Right.
what, and then just
Will be
loyal,
compensated.
and company loyalty
and
Yeah.
pensions.
and
I do have a lot of vacation.
just the fact that you're grateful to have a job.
Well, yeah, and they also used to say like, this sounds like such old man talk, but like, Andy, you're right 100%. Because I remember like, I was raised the same way you were, where it was like you show up to work, you never call in sick unless you're dying, and you put your time in. And a good company will have a pension for you, so when you can't work anymore, they're going to take care of you in your old age, and you're going to get a gold watch when you retire, and all these things is everything we thought we were getting. And instead, what we got was they pulled the rug out of all the pensions completely. They don't exist for most people anymore. Nobody gets a gold watch. No one needs a gold watch. People really need help, like paying for rent.
And the fact that
Instead-
they're billionaires
Yeah.
growing, like getting richer all the time. There's more billionaires popping up all
Right.
the time.
I'll find your underground
Yeah.
bunker, Mark
That's,
Zuckerberg.
what were we just watching? The stand-up, the new stand-up special?
made it.
I like that. I'll get you, Zuckerberg.
Gary Goldman.
Greg Goldman's new
Gary
special?
Goldman.
Gary Goldman. His new special. He has a great bit about a game show called Guillotine. Where
It's so great.
have you watched it?
Oh yeah.
Isn't it great? Where he says the billionaires just have to go up there and explain why they shouldn't cut their heads off.
Right. I would be there for that.
I have really like it
Eat the
amazes
rich.
me
Eat 'em.
in my older age now how far
I'm
left.
radicalized. I'm so radicalized. It's ridiculous.
Like I was
I'm not
always
gonna
kind of
do
moderate.
anything.
You're like, we're on the verge of another French Revolution.
I will
Feels that way
be
sometimes.
somewhere.
We'll be fucked.
I'll have a
Because
flag.
they have all the most expensive weaponry. They're gonna smite us with with incendiary lasers from their underpants.
Well, see, then it becomes the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
Oh my god.
We go from the other thing to Hunger Games, and they bomb us all
the Richies
into submission.
All the Richie Riches with their blonde hair and their blue eyes and their flying machines.
All right. What? Office Space. Thank you.
Springing.
Oh, it's the
Freddy's fiddling with his shit. Not it. He's Mike's there.
I got my knuckles in my poop.
Yeah, that's for the Patreon. The patrons, that's extra.
Yeah, we were talking about
root around in doo-doo.
Rooting around in your butt and sniffing it. It's a really great conversation we had on Origins.
Rooting around in your doo-doo.
I got we got a new patron, by the way, guys.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanted to say, R. Mason.
Wherever you are. Thank you.
Wherever you are.
You're the best and we love you so much. Okay, so who's next? Andy, you're next because your birthday is the next in the birthday order.
I'm psyched for this choice.
What was it again?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, that's right.
Fucking awesome.
I probably haven't seen this movie in 20 years.
It's funny that it's like corporations suck, but I'm gonna talk about how awesome corporations are.
It's a great movie. It is a triumph.
Yeah, my discussion, I'm gonna talk about how awesome Disney was back then. Maybe
Was
I was
this Eisner
naive.
years?
Well, the content was.
Yeah.
That's separate from their corporate offices. That's
it's creative.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is outrageously good.
Yeah, masterpiece.
Outrageous.
Yes. Masterpuss.
It's masterpiece.
If he were a cat, that would be funny.
Masterpuss.
Here's what I found. Kensington
Siri,
7
get outta
outlet
here.
masterpiece plus power
All right,
control.
so who got some names for Amy?
Yes. The end of every show, we always say hi to the Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP. If you're into that. Alise.
I love you. I'm on my way.
Daddy.
Alyssa.
You like that, Andy?
Branan and Emily.
It's Robert.
pretty good.
It's Robert. That's Robert Rabber.
It's Robert Rabbit. The
Jeffel.
asylum version.
Jeffel. Iona Goodwin.
From Herner Berber.
Dr. Brian.
The creators of Yergy Burger.
Old Dirty Billsterd. Bill Farner.
He's a dastardly dog.
Frosted Blakes.
Kelley, you do a good droopy, right?
Blayne Yogurt.
I do a respectable droopy.
Jordache Jeans. Oh, we saw Joe.
better
Hey, what's up, Joe?
I'm waving at you right now, Joe. Did you know that?
Joe got Dungeons and
What is
Dragons
wrong with me?
toys.
Nice.
I saw him on New Year's. Paul. We saw you too. Jeremy. Cassie. Gamora. Ernie. Dave Siebert. Monica and Dustin.
Thank you, guys.
Boom.
You guys are the wind beneath my wings.
Yeah.
So thank you
Yeah.
for my staff pick joining me for it.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy
Aw,
birthday,
happy birthday.
Kelly.
All right.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead, and Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London